Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft Season 6. It is the 20th episode of this series, which has gotten off to an amazing, fantastic start. And that start is about to get a whole lot better because below me is the... I don't know if this thing has like an official name. I need to go look it up again. But it is the loot crate from Iskall's episode. If you saw that... he decided to go out into the wild and leave a loot box for another hermit to find in a random location, and all he showed was the location here. Never pressed F3 or anything like that, and he gave some hints. He says it's no more than 4,000 blocks away from the Hermit Island. It is actually further than that because the Hermit Island is in the minus regions. But if you look at the coordinates here, 950 and 350, I reckon he added those together to get the number 4,000. But the island is a bit beyond 00. Anyway, I'm not nitpicking here. I'm figuring out how Iskall's mind has worked. Anyway, it is Sunday morning for me right now. I've just finished my Sunday morning live stream full of derps. Some ridiculous derps, actually. If you want to check it out, there'll be a link to it in the description box down below. I said that I might go and look for this at the end of my regular streaming time, and someone in chat very confidently put these coordinates in, and I like the number 950 and 350 because you add them together you get 4,000. So then what we did is we went and opened a mist with the seed to look at the location, and I had seen Iskall's videos and I liked what I saw. You could see the plains biome off to the side, the extreme hills biome had a similar shape, and there was this forest just over to the side as well. So it looked really good. I thought let's go there, and my friend Soul_Pat, if you're watching, thank you so much for doing the work, putting in the legwork and figuring out where this was. Now, I don't think Iskall specified any particular rules other than this was a game that the viewers could participate in as well. He would show you guys through his videos where he's going to be putting these crates, and then it's up for you guys to figure out where in the world they are. And SoulPat revealed the secret. He actually just loaded up the seed and went looking for it, right? So that was a pretty clever way of doing such a thing. And so SoulPat, thank you for helping us find this. There is some serious rewards inside of this shulker box right here. So dear Hermit, congratulations on finding the first airdrop. Make sure to break it down completely and take all the loot. I feel like we should leave something behind, like a remnant that this existed. Maybe we leave the pillars here and put some stone in the ground or something. Yeah, just something to find out in the world if someone ever comes here. There will be a reminder that it existed. So, 18 diamonds! Wow, that is amazing. A heart of the sea, I like it, and a couple of gems. Absolutely fantastic. Totally worth the time. I love this game. I think Iskall is going to do more rounds of it as well. So there will be, yeah, like more challenges like this that you, the viewers, will be able to participate in and help us, the hermits, find these things. Because the idea is that Iskall shows you where it is, you figure out where it is in the world, then you go tell your favourite hermit, and then they get some loot, which is pretty cool, pretty interactive. I like it ever so much. And that, my friends, I think is how we will leave this thing, actually. By changing it to stone, it really signifies that it's been open. Yeah, I think that was a cool idea. Alrighty then, I have flown back to the location of our kelp farm. I've been running some experiments on that, but we'll probably talk about that another time when the results are in. As you can see, I've been working on the layout here a little bit. Things are coming together slowly. We are far from being done on this project, but I have some really interesting news for you. So let's head inside the furnace room where we have been stocking up our kelp. We have enough of these kelp blocks now to smelt over 250,000 items. I don't know how many items the average player smelts in a season, but that is a lot of items that we can smelt. So we really need to crack on and go and build a shop in the shopping area. Well, it's not a shop, it's going to be a service, right? But if you remember back a couple of episodes ago, we did a poll on what materials to use in this area. The most popular one was to use the sand combination. So I've relegated the other combination to this little space here, which I should really put some crates or something in. Maybe something a little bigger, like a crane coming out of the ground could look cool. But over here you can see everything's been converted to sand. and I've thrown in what are supposed to be looking like crates, and I think it's like halfway there. It's an okay idea. There's probably some better textures for that, but it kind of looks like a dock area with some supplies. And as we walk through here, you can see the sand blocks are all over the place. Occasionally I throw up like a stair block or a slab into the corner just to kind of make it look like it's not all level and there's piles, and all of that stuff looks really good. Oh yeah, and the path here has been dropped so that you can walk right underneath, and then the position of these things have been changed so you kind of walk through the middle, and of course the material that has changed as well. There will always be lots of little changes here and there. So on this Hermitcraft series, I like to keep things survival mode, and every now and then we get drawn into creative mode to do some testing or something like that, and you may just recognise these builds from the 4th season of Hermitcraft, where I experimented with finding my own build palette and coming up with a unique shape for a building which involved creating these roofs out of clay. Now what I'd like to do in this episode is come up with a build for the furnace array that we're going to build in the community area, and I thought, why don't we revisit these roofs, because they were rather successful and I seem to have a knack for building these. Well, after about 10 minutes in this world, I had built this right here, and it is pretty fantastic. Now it happens to be a little bit smaller than I would like it to be. The grass space here represents the space that I've reserved on the server, and I actually ended up making this a little bit smaller than it needed to be by accident. But then I found another use for another build for a kind of rooftop like this, right? So it's going to give us an opportunity to actually remove this and start again from scratch. And this time I thought I'd walk you through the process a little bit, just because building this comes so naturally to me and it's a lot of fun. So we're going to remove this, change the size of the pillars on the ground, and start all over again. So I'm not trying to get you hyped, but basically I'm trying to get you hyped. The tag building, oh yeah, I got a bed on my head. The tag building is going to be something wonderful when it's finished, and because of that we're actually going to change the colour scheme of this build so it's not like what we have going on over the back there. And I also reminded myself that I wanted to do a challenge with a 2-colour tone like this one right here, so we're probably going to have some sort of stripes worked into this, although it might be kind of difficult because we're going to follow a similar form to the last one, which is essentially having spines go up to the middle from the centers and from the corners as well. So what we do is we start off with one straight line of material like this. Actually taking a little bit of a different approach here and then working with the diagonal spines leading to the center. What I actually normally do is just do it one row at a time, but based on how tricky it was to get this bit feeling nice last time, I thought we'd do that first. So 2 and a bit rows have been added, and we now have an opportunity to do something that I thought looked really good on the last roof, which is actually floating up there in the sky for future reference. It's kind of cool to knock out some of the blocks at the bottom here where it tends to sag. So we're going to remove those ones on those bits, and then what we're going to do is actually add extra ones that come out further right here, and that should give it a little bit more dimension to the front here. And now I realise I haven't recorded in a while, and it's just been one of those things where I'm sucked into the building. It is sort of coming together kind of okay, but because the whole scale of it is a little bit bigger, we've ended up with this top bit I think looking a little bit strange. So I'm going to have to rework some of the surfaces here and I think increase the slope of this angle. So there we go. It's not the best, but I do like the shape of it, and I think what we need to do now is paste it around. So what I've done is I've made an invisible selection of all of the red blocks that you see here going out to about halfway across. And what we're going to do is stand in the middle of it, and this is where World Edit shows its power, because we can copy what we've made, then we can rotate it by 90 degrees, and then we can paste it. But we're also going to add a tag to reduce the air. Now if I just repeat that process 2 more times, you'll see the blocks are now all the way around because we've pasted it all the way around, and now it actually looks seriously good. But I can see the problem with it. I think what we need is a lot more sag in this area here. After all of that, I think I'm actually going to stick with this one. The sag really doesn't work. I think the shape is actually quite nice once you compare it to something like this. So now what I can do is make a selection from that corner up to the top there, rotate it and paste it straight down into this side, because that is the only place that we've edited any blocks. There are a couple of steps left for us, and one of those is to actually introduce some stripes. As I said, I wanted to make this a two-tone thing, and this could be very challenging. It might just turn out that it's not going to end up looking so great and we go back to it being a single colour, but we've got to try first, of course. Because the stripes need to revolve around the centre of this, that looks okay. That's sort of This is a little bit, I don't know, bit too messy, and I think actually what we should just go with is having a stripe from these points, because that actually looks pretty cool. And now the final phase, punching out all of the leftover blocks that aren't actually needed in the build. The reason why, maybe it's because I'm fussy, but also because we are going to be building on the inside of here. I do actually want to put some structural blocks to kind of look like the roof is being held up from the inside. I think that is actually pretty important. And that is why, my friends, that is actually a pretty beautiful looking roof. But I think now what we need to do is head onto the Hermitcraft server and build it over there. And that means I can get rid of this bed that's on my head. From up here, the shopping district is a pretty incredible place. It kind of looks a little bit full, right? But what you got to remember is that we are going to expand over in that direction to where all of these trees in front of me are. And yes, you are right. You are very observant. That is not the colour we were originally going to build this in. I've had a change of heart. I actually want to build this now with kelp blocks as the structural blocks in the bottom, so I thought I'd pick out some clays to match this. And I've just finished spending my time looking at this from many different angles on the ground to try and get a feel for how it affects the skyline. And Jevin is over there, and he may be, I think, one of the first time it's to see this thing finished. I've just been grinding it out, getting it done. And I feel like the eye line is pretty good because we're not obstructing anything yet. However, in the future there will be things off there in the distance, and I'm hoping the builds we're going to put in the middle of this doesn't affect that too much, as I think it would be nice for the hermits to be able to look through this space and see things off in the distance. But anyway, what we're going to do now is rip out more of these log blocks, grab some kelp from our farm and bring them over here to do some building. So here's a nice combination. Let's grab this, grab our axe, strip these blocks. That green and that birch go together ever so well. However, we don't want to convolute the colour scheme too much here. So brown would be the other colour, which is why I'm using these fence posts here. We're going to see a lot of this birch. I think it's okay to cover it up on the corner. It looks alright over here as well, but obviously we've got a problem with having a big open floor like this, and this is going to be the level of the floor itself. So I figured where it comes out like this, what we'll actually do is we'll embrace this other texture and have a bunch of stripped birch here. You know, it might be a good idea to offset this back by one. But yes, we'll have it like a big wall, and then somewhere in the middle here there'll be a little stairs leading up. Wow, this is a lovely combination of blocks. I am digging this build so much right now. And we're about to start work on the furnace section that will go in the middle, which will actually end up being rather simple. We're going to have some pillars going up like this, then we're going to have a section of 5 furnaces in total, so that will mean 20 furnaces in this room. And I've kind of left these gaps because we're going to do a little thing with the floor here where this one's going to go in that direction, and then the next one will turn to the side and go in that direction for neatness sakes, because as you can see I have laid these all out facing inwards, and on the outside as well I've also used those blocks, so they come over the edge like that, which looks really, really good. If you're not sure what those blocks are, as it occurs to me as I say it, I will craft them for you. So if you put 4 like that, you get the bark, the birch all over, or wood as it's now called, and you can strip that one as well. Well, I've kind of hit a major hitch with this project, the sort that means that we can't really get this thing up and running today, and that is iron, because we are going to use a lot of hoppers in here. Each furnace is going to take 3 hoppers, items to go in, items to come out, fuel to go in from behind, and I've only actually set up one of these right here. I'm also making some design decisions at the moment. I think one of those will be to knock back the stairs all the way to this lip, because you kind of come right up into the thing and you're a little bit too close to it. You'll also notice that there is glass in front of the furnaces, And that's because this is going to be an XP farm for ourselves as well. So over on this side, I put in some fences, and you can't actually reach in to the furnace through the fence, which is cool. So I kind of don't mind that look. It would probably look nicer if there was something clean behind it. But the other idea that I had was to put the trapdoors, and they just, no, I don't think that's going to work well. It's not the worst thing ever. Maybe I'll try it in full. But another thing I was going to do is have some support beams going across the top, and the way it lines up with the top of that bit there looks kind of cool, but I actually think it looks so much nicer when you look into the roof space and it's all big and open like that. So there will need to be more sort of building and construction in that space up the top, but I don't think we're going to have the support bars go across the side. Scar's shop at the moment is like a monster refuge. There's a skeleton in there hiding from the sun. There's some creepers hanging out as well. I think there was a zombie. Anyway, I have no iron because of our beacon, which we got, was it last episode or the episode before? I can't even remember. Been having so much fun here on the server. Yeah, so in order to get more, we're going to have to do a lot of caving, and that will take up a lot of time. But I'm just admiring the build from different angles here, and I'm really liking it. I also went for the trapdoors. I played around with it a bit, and I thought, you know what, they actually look pretty good when they're tiled all the way up to the top. And so this thing is not finished just yet. I do want to do some more stuff with the roof on the inside, but we're waiting on some more iron. So I think we're going to have to knock this on the head for now. There is a little errand that I want to do. In fact, I've got two little errands to do. One of them I'll talk about more in detail in just a second, but I'm also going to grab some flowers from the flower shop here. I've told Python if ever he goes in here and just sees that someone's yanked some of these without paying for them, it's most likely me, since I am an owner. I'm not just stealing, jeez. And yeah, I can come in here and take some, and yeah, we're going to go put this next to Tango's Wither Farm. This is a very quick errand actually. Place a flower in one of the flower pots each time you use the Wither Farm. I'd love for this to become a little Hermitcraft tradition, and then later on in the season there will of course be lots and lots of flowers in here. So we're going to drop off a stack of each of the types of flowers that we've got for the peeps to use. That should last a long time. And also something that I got to do is spend some time over here soon, as well as caving for iron. I'm going to have to do a lot of off-camera stuff because me and Doc M actually have some plans to fight withers again, and I won't tell you much more about it than that, but I need to spend some time over here grinding. I just came out of a portal and I heard terrifying screams, but I think these phantoms are actually circling someone else, maybe False. I hope she's in a safe spot. We've seen it before actually. If False were to log out or die right about now, the phantoms would then change target to me. Or are they doing that already? Can I just hang out here with them? Kinda looks like I can. Ah, they're on fire now. I was so close to hugging one. It got caught under this tree and I wanted to get a selfie with it. Maybe not today. Wow, would you look at that? Is that a colourful ship or what? I am now reminded that I actually wanted to come over here for other reasons, as well as what I'm about to tell you. This is Zombie Cleo's ship. It is gorgeous, and there is something very interesting happening over here, which are these pumpkin head fellas. Look at this, telling the story with the armour stands. This is the power of the armour stand book right here. So there's a little boat, and it looks like they are unloading gold and chests and passing them up to the top to be stashed away on this pirate ship. That's so cool. I love it. We need to do something like that this season. Last time I was here, I was actually doing a little bit of a pufferfish prank, which was a bit naughty of me. I'm actually now here to tag Cleo as the next Hermitcraft recap tag. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but the recap have a tag system, and due to an absolute bombardment of comments on my own videos, mispronouncing my own name, shishwammy, shishwambam, all of that, I saw them all, I saw all the comments, I now have to then go and tag someone else. So I've come over here to tag Zombie Cleo. And I'm fondly reminded of a prank war that the two of us had in Season 2. And I will leave you with an iCard on the screen for a prank that I did on her many seasons ago. Well, 4 seasons ago in Season 2. That was a lot of fun. I've discovered more of these pumpkin-headed pirates. Looks like this guy's got a spoon. They're eating some food. There's some drinks on the table. Wow, I love it. So much of this is very, very self-explanatory as well. Sometimes when you do details in this game, you have to wrap your head around them a little bit, but this just makes so much sense. There's even a baby pirate on board. So I'm down in the instant mine, doing a bit of digging for iron and other materials, thinking I'm probably not going to get enough to, you know, make a bunch of hoppers and finish our furnace this episode. But down here there is a slime, which reminds me I wanted to make a slime farm at some point. I don't want to just rely on the shops all season. And it's good to know that there is one in this area, and possibly if I figure out exactly where this spawned, I might just start hollowing it out a little bit more, making it easier for more slimes to spawn while I'm down here. But that is great, our own way of getting some slime balls, and of course my inventory is full, which is why I turned around and actually saw the slime in the first place. So there are now 2 clearings on the opposite side of this area. Those are where I've seen the slimes spawning. More so on that side than this side. And I mean, well, I'm too close now for anything to spawn, but you can see it's all chunk aligned. And I've lowered it down just because the extra height means the larger slime can spawn. So when I'm in this area, maybe digging over on that side, we might get some spawns behind us. But the plan currently is to just keep digging until we get enough iron for those furnaces. And then in between episodes, I'm going to work on getting some wither skulls as well as iron and get all prepared for next episode when me and Doc are going to be doing something very interesting together with some withers. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. If you've enjoyed this episode, then leave a like. As always, thank you for your support, and I'll see you soon with another episode of Hermitcraft. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.